Right now, somewhere in Florida, a single orange juice factory is squeezing enough oranges in one day to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool with juice. Not in a month, not in a week. In a single day, millions of Americans start their mornings with a glass of orange juice. It's become as much a part of breakfast as eggs, toast, or coffee. Fresh, natural, straight from the orchard. At least that's what most people believe. But here's the thing nobody tells you. That carton of 100% orange juice sitting in your refrigerator may have been squeezed nearly a year ago. Not yesterday, not last week, possibly months before you bought it. And before it ever reached your kitchen, it may have spent time inside giant storage tanks larger than some houses. Tanks holding millions of gallons of juice, waiting, preserved, protected, and carefully engineered to taste exactly the way consumers expect. Because orange juice has a problem. Freshly squeezed orange juice doesn't stay fresh for very long. The flavor changes, the aroma fades, the color shifts. Nature never intended oranges picked in January to taste identical to oranges sold in September. Yet consumers expect every bottle to taste exactly the same. Every day, every season, every year. And that's where one of the most fascinating food manufacturing systems on Earth comes into play. A system involving citrus farmers, optical sorting machines, extraction equipment processing hundreds of oranges per minute, giant oxygen-free storage tanks, laboratory chemists, and surprisingly, experts who study aroma compounds the same way perfume companies study fragrances. Because modern orange juice isn't simply squeezed and bottled. It's harvested, measured, sorted, extracted, pasteurized, stored, blended, and scientifically balanced before it ever reaches a grocery shelf. The carton says orange juice. The factory tells a much bigger story, and that story begins long before the first orange is picked. Because America's favorite breakfast drink wasn't always part of breakfast. In fact, there was a time when almost nobody drank orange juice at all. Today, orange juice feels inevitable. Walk into almost any American grocery store, and you'll find entire refrigerated sections dedicated to it. Pulp-free? Some pulp. Extra pulp. Calcium fortified. Vitamin D enriched. Fresh squeezed. Never from concentrate. Organic. The choices seem endless. But here's the strange part. A little over a century ago, most Americans rarely drank orange juice. They ate oranges. They didn't drink them. The transformation began with a problem: too many oranges. In the early 1900s, citrus growers in California and Florida were facing an agricultural success story that had become a business nightmare. Orange production was booming, groves were expanding, harvests were getting larger every year, but consumers could only eat so many oranges. Supply was growing faster than demand. Prices were falling. Growers needed a solution, and that solution arrived in the form of advertising. One of the most influential marketing campaigns in American food history helped convince consumers that oranges weren't just a fruit. They were a drink, a breakfast drink, a daily habit. Suddenly, instead of consuming one orange, families could consume the juice of 2, 3, or even 4 oranges in a single sitting. Demand exploded. The strategy worked better than anyone imagined. Then history gave the industry another opportunity. World War II. Military planners worried about nutrition. Soldiers needed reliable sources of vitamin C. Fresh citrus was difficult to transport and store. Scientists began experimenting with ways to preserve orange juice for longer periods. The early products weren't perfect. Some soldiers reportedly disliked the flavor. But the research laid the foundation for an entirely new industry. After the war came frozen concentrate. For the first time, orange juice could be produced during harvest season and consumed months later. Factories could process huge volumes of fruit without worrying about immediate spoilage. Consumers could keep juice in their freezers. The orange juice business entered a new era. Then came another breakthrough. Not frozen concentrate, not canned juice, fresh-tasting refrigerated juice. Manufacturers developed technologies capable of preserving orange juice while maintaining much of the flavor consumers associated with fresh fruit. The promise was powerful. Orange juice available every day of the year, regardless of harvest season, regardless of weather, regardless of where you lived. Today, the American orange juice industry generates billions of dollars annually. Millions of gallons move through the supply chain every week. Entire regions of Florida exist because of citrus production. Generations of farming families depend on it. Yet despite all the technology, all the machinery, and all the science, everything still begins in exactly the same place: an orange tree. Because before factories can process a single drop of juice, farmers must solve a challenge nature refuses to make easy. Timing. Unlike bananas, unlike avocados, unlike many fruits sold in supermarkets, oranges do not significantly improve after harvest. The sugar content, the acidity, the flavor balance. Everything depends on harvesting at exactly the right moment. Too early and the juice tastes thin and sour. Too late, and the flavor profile begins changing in ways consumers may not enjoy. And that creates a surprisingly narrow window for one of America's largest food industries. A window that determines whether billions of glasses of orange juice taste exactly the way consumers expect. Because before a factory can squeeze an orange, someone has to decide the perfect moment to pick it. Before a single bottle gets filled, before a single label gets printed, before a single drop reaches your breakfast table, the entire operation begins in the orange groves. And these aren't small family orchards with a few hundred trees. Some modern citrus operations stretch across thousands of acres, rows upon rows of orange trees disappearing into the horizon. From above, they look almost endless. But hidden inside those groves is one of the most carefully monitored crops in American agriculture. Because not every orange is destined for the juice industry, and not every orange is ready at the same time. Months before harvest begins, growers start tracking sugar levels inside the fruit. They use a measurement known as Brix, a scale that indicates how much sugar is present in the juice. The higher the Brix level, the sweeter the orange. But sweetness alone isn't enough. Acidity matters too. The perfect orange juice depends on balance. Too much acidity and the juice tastes harsh. Too little and it tastes flat. Growers constantly test samples throughout the season, searching for the ideal combination of sweetness and tartness. When that balance is finally achieved, harvest begins. And suddenly entire groves come alive. Workers move between rows collecting fruit. Large harvesting crews work from sunrise to sunset. Bins begin filling with thousands of pounds of oranges. Truck after truck leaves the grove, because once an orange leaves the tree, the clock starts ticking. The fruit must reach the processing facility quickly. Every delay risks quality. Every hour matters. As trucks arrive at the factory, the scale becomes almost unbelievable. Tens of thousands of oranges may arrive every hour. The fruit rolls off trailers and enters the first stage of industrial processing: cleaning. Massive washing systems spray the oranges with high-pressure water. Rotating brushes scrub every surface. Dust, dirt, leaves, agricultural residue. Everything must be removed. The goal isn't appearance. Consumers will never see these oranges. The goal is purity, because whatever remains on the fruit could eventually end up in the juice. After washing the oranges, move along conveyor systems stretching throughout the facility. This is where the first major quality checkpoint appears: optical sorting machines. At first glance, they look like ordinary conveyor belts. But hidden above them are high-speed cameras capable of inspecting thousands of oranges every minute. Each fruit is photographed multiple times. Software analyzes color, size, shape, surface defects, bruising, rot, damage invisible to the human eye. If an orange fails inspection, air jets fire with astonishing precision. The fruit is instantly pushed off the line. Rejected. Gone in less than a second. What remains are the oranges considered suitable for juice production. And then they arrive at the most important machines in the entire factory: the extractors. This is where oranges become orange juice, and the process is far more impressive than most people imagine. Many people assume the oranges are cut in half and squeezed. That's not how industrial juice extraction works. Modern extraction systems process whole oranges. The fruit drops into specialized machines that grip it from both ends. Powerful mechanisms compress the orange from top and bottom simultaneously. Inside the machine, the juice is separated from the peel seeds and excess pulp. Everything happens in a matter of seconds. Some industrial extractors can process hundreds of oranges every minute. A large facility may operate dozens of these machines side by side. Together, they can squeeze millions of oranges every day. The sound is relentless. Fruit dropping, machines cycling, conveyors moving continuously. The smell is even more remarkable. Fresh citrus oils fill the air. The entire factory smells like concentrated orange peel. Workers often say visitors notice it immediately. Employees eventually stop noticing it at all. As the extraction continues, something interesting happens. The factory doesn't only collect juice. It collects everything: peel oil, pulp, seeds, even the leftover peel. Nothing is wasted. Citrus oils are valuable ingredients used in foods, beverages, cleaning products, fragrances, and cosmetics. Animal feed manufacturers purchase portions of the leftover material. Some byproducts are converted into industrial ingredients. An orange enters the factory, virtually every part finds a use. Meanwhile, the raw juice continues flowing through stainless steel pipes. At this stage, it looks incredible. Bright, fresh, cloudy, filled with natural aroma compounds. Exactly what you would get if you squeezed an orange at home. But there's a problem. Fresh juice doesn't stay fresh for long. Naturally occurring microorganisms begin multiplying. Flavor compounds start changing. Shelf life is measured in days, not months. And that creates a challenge for an industry trying to sell orange juice year-round. Because the juice flowing out of the extractor may be fresh, but fresh alone isn't enough. To reach supermarkets across America, it must survive a journey that could last months. And that's where the biggest transformation in the entire process begins: A transformation involving heat chemistry and one of the most misunderstood secrets in the orange juice industry. At this point in the process, the juice looks perfect. Bright orange, freshly squeezed, naturally sweet, filled with the aroma of fresh citrus. If you tasted it right now straight from the extraction line, it would taste remarkably close to juice squeezed at home. But there's a problem. Fresh juice is alive, not literally, but chemically, biologically, constantly changing. Microorganisms are present. Enzymes are active. Flavor compounds are unstable. The very qualities that make fresh juice taste wonderful are also the qualities that make it spoil quickly. Left untreated, the juice might remain enjoyable for only a short period of time. Certainly not long enough to travel through a national distribution network. Certainly not long enough to sit on grocery shelves across America. And definitely not long enough to support a multi-billion-dollar industry. So the factory must make a choice: preserve the juice or lose the product. The solution is pasteurization, a process named after the French scientist Louis Pasteur. The goal is simple: destroy harmful microorganisms without destroying the juice itself. The raw juice enters massive heat exchangers, thousands of gallons moving through stainless steel systems every hour. The juice is rapidly heated, then rapidly cooled. The entire process may take less than a minute. The temperatures are carefully controlled. Too low and microorganisms survive. Too high and flavor quality suffers. Engineers spend decades optimizing this balance. Because pasteurization solves one problem while creating another. It keeps the juice safe, but it also changes it. This is where the hidden truth begins. Because many of the compounds responsible for the smell of a freshly cut orange are incredibly fragile. Scientists call them volatile aroma compounds. Volatile means they evaporate easily, and heat accelerates that process. During pasteurization, some of these compounds are lost. Not all of them, but enough to matter. The juice remains safe. The nutritional value remains largely intact. The vitamin C remains present, but something subtle changes. The aroma softens. The brightness fades. The juice tastes slightly less alive. Most consumers would never identify exactly what disappeared. They would simply notice that it doesn't taste quite as vibrant as juice squeezed moments ago. And here's where the story gets fascinating. Because the orange juice industry noticed this problem decades ago, and they developed a solution that surprises almost everyone who learns about it. Flavor packs. Now, before your brain jumps to artificial chemicals and synthetic ingredients, let's slow down, because the reality is more interesting. The flavor packs used in many commercial orange juices often originate from oranges themselves. Remember the peel oils collected during extraction? Those oils contain some of the most powerful aroma compounds in the entire fruit. Scientists can isolate, analyze, and preserve those compounds. Using sophisticated laboratory equipment, they identify the molecules responsible for the characteristic aroma of fresh oranges. Compounds like limonene, ethyl butyrate, linalool, and dozens of others. These molecules create the scent consumers instantly recognize. The smell of freshly peeled citrus, the smell that says fresh orange. Food scientists study these compounds the same way perfume chemists study fragrances. They build flavor profiles, aromatic fingerprints, detailed maps of what makes one orange variety smell different from another. Then when needed, those aroma compounds can be blended back into the juice, not to create a fake flavor, but to restore consistency. Because here's the challenge facing every major juice company. Oranges harvested in January don't taste exactly like oranges harvested in September. Weather changes, rainfall changes, sunlight changes. Every harvest is slightly different. Consumers, however, expect every bottle to taste identical. The bottle purchased in New York should taste like the bottle purchased in Texas. The bottle bought in June should taste like the bottle bought in December. Consistency is everything. And that's where flavor engineering enters the picture. Not engineering in the sense of creating orange flavor from scratch. Engineering in the sense of maintaining a recognizable profile, a signature taste, a flavor consumers trust. But the biggest surprise hasn't happened yet, because pasteurization isn't what allows orange juice to remain available all year long. Storage does, and some of the storage tanks used by the industry are so large, they can hold millions of gallons of juice at a time. This is the part that completely changes how most people think about orange juice. Because the bottle you buy next week may have started its journey many months ago, long before it ever appeared on a supermarket shelf. At this point, most people think the story is almost over. The oranges have been harvested, the juice has been extracted, the microorganisms have been eliminated, the flavor has been stabilized. All that's left is putting the juice into a bottle. Right. Not quite. Because this is where one of the biggest secrets in the orange juice industry finally reveals itself. The juice isn't necessarily bottled immediately. In fact, some of it may spend months waiting, and not inside ordinary storage tanks. Inside giant oxygen-free reservoirs capable of holding millions of gallons. Imagine a tank the size of a small building. Now imagine dozens of them, filled not with oil, not with fuel. But with orange juice, this is how modern juice companies solve one of their biggest challenges. Oranges are seasonal. Consumers are not. People buy orange juice every day of the year. January, April, August, November. The factory needs a way to bridge the gap between harvest seasons. The solution is storage. After pasteurization, the juice may be transferred into massive stainless steel storage tanks. These tanks are designed to protect the juice from its greatest enemy, oxygen. Oxygen slowly degrades flavor, changes aroma compounds, reduces freshness. To prevent this, many storage systems remove oxygen and replace it with inert gases such as nitrogen. The juice sits in a carefully controlled environment. Cold, protected, stable, waiting. Some batches remain there for weeks, others for months. The goal isn't to trick consumers. The goal is consistency. Without storage, orange juice would disappear from shelves for much of the year. Yet this is the moment that surprises most people. Because when consumers hear the words fresh orange juice, they often imagine something squeezed recently. The reality is far more complicated. The juice may still be 100% orange juice. It may still be not from concentrate, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was squeezed yesterday. And that's the distinction most people never learn. Eventually, demand calls for more product. The stored juice leaves the tanks. Quality control laboratories run another series of tests. Sugar levels, acidity, color, aroma, flavor consistency. Nothing moves forward without approval. Only then does the juice enter the bottling facility. And this part of the operation looks more like a pharmaceutical plant than a beverage factory. Thousands of empty bottles arrive every hour. Some enter the factory as preforms, small plastic test tube-like pieces that will become full-size bottles. Industrial blow molding machines heat them, expand them, shape them. Within seconds, a tiny plastic preform becomes a finished bottle. The bottles move into sterile filling environments. Everything is automated. Everything is controlled. Air filtration systems continuously remove contaminants. Sensors monitor operations every second. The filling lines move so fast that individual bottles become difficult to track with the naked eye. Hundreds every minute, thousands every hour. Each bottle receives the exact amount of juice. No more, no less. Caps are applied. Labels are attached. Date codes are printed. Cameras inspect every package. Defective bottles are automatically removed. The rest continue down the line, ready for shipment. But the journey isn't over. Not even close. Because orange juice depends on what the industry calls the cold chain. From factory to distribution center, from distribution center to truck, from truck to supermarket, from supermarket to your refrigerator. Temperature control never stops. A single break in the cold chain can dramatically shorten shelf life. Entire logistics networks exist to maintain that refrigeration. Thousands of workers, hundreds of facilities, millions of dollars of equipment, all dedicated to keeping one beverage cold. And that's what makes orange juice such an extraordinary product. Most people see a simple bottle, a breakfast drink, a source of vitamin C, something ordinary. But hidden inside that bottle is one of the most complex food supply chains on Earth. Farmers monitoring sugar levels months before harvest. Optical sorting systems rejecting defective fruit in milliseconds. Machines capable of processing hundreds of oranges every minute. Scientists studying aroma molecules one compound at a time. Storage tanks holding millions of gallons. Bottling lines operating at astonishing speeds, and an entire refrigerated distribution network spanning the country. Which brings us back to the glass sitting on your breakfast table. The question isn't whether it's real orange juice. It is. The question is how much had to happen before it reached you. Because the biggest surprise isn't that the juice may have been squeezed months ago. The biggest surprise is that after all that time, all that technology, all that engineering, it still tastes like an orange. That's the achievement. That's the hidden story. The carton says orange juice. The factory tells a much bigger story. And now, every time you pour a glass, you'll know exactly what it took to get there. That's the process. We reveal how things actually work one story at a time. If there's something you'd like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.